Hey, first off, no polarity slander will be tolerated. That's a cool mother man. He may have stole the show over the last few episodes. He's rich, always well dressed, knows how to work a room, and he's powerful. I'm sorry, Anthony Mackie, but polarity is the best black superhero out right now, and it's not even close.
So I'd say 9 figures in the bank means I know a shit ton about marketing.
We'll see if Aaron Pierce has anything to say about this when Lanterns comes out, but right now it's polarity for the win. Welcome. My name is Zach. Come on in, relax, grab a seat, take a load off. We have a lot to talk about. If this is your first time to the Super Reel, we're glad to have you. Let's start by breaking down the finale first, and then we'll get into the harsh truth at the end. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button.
I'm Doug. My name's Doug Brightbill. I got a cat, Buster, and a car, and like we lived out of this red Honda Civic.
Poor Doug. He said he was being controlled since 1996, and he was the second puppet. I must say, he is remarkably in high spirits for a guy who's been mind controlled since the 90s.
I can try again in a few hours.
Thank you for trying.
We are introduced to something called V1. Apparently, it's the same Compound V Stormfront and Soldier Boy use. This Compound V prevents aging. Godolkin is enjoying the simple pleasures of having taste buds and skin that doesn't burn 24/7. But this high is going to his head and he's going off script. Sage has a plan and you're ruining it. I'm already missing Dean Cypher. I love this moment between Doug and Polarity. Doug is speaking very highly of Andre, recounting his small victories while locked up in Elmira. And you really see how proud Polarity is of his son. And this scene is capped off with a great moment where Doug tells Polarity that Andre was the greatest hero he's ever seen, which is high praise because he's seen a lot of heroes since the 90s. This moment was short-lived as Black Noir comes out of nowhere to take out Doug and capture Polarity. Marie gets some girl time and forgives Kate in a touching scene. Then we jump to Godolkin's live stream, inviting the student body to a bloodbath. Bro is feeling himself a bit too much, going further off script. Sage is getting pissed. You are not Polarity. You don't have the charisma to pull this off. Yo, Jordan's hair was straight fire this finale. They were really going all out. Sam and Emma try to warn the frat not to go to Godolkin seminar, but get dicks drawn on their face for their troubles. We jump to Godolkin seminar, and after some words of discouragement, class is in session. He starts controlling everyone, and it's pretty much a slaughter. But look at his hands. It seems like when he uses a fair bit of power, his skin goes back to being blistered and Freddy Krueger-esque. We jump to Jordan breaking up with Marie, although I don't know if it's technically a breakup because I don't know if they were ever technically together, but all the same, Marie is sad, and I think we all saw this conversation coming, so. Next, we see Godolkin explaining to Sage his goals. He hopes to accelerate his own evolution so that he's powerful enough to take over Marie, then ultimately Homelander. But Sage disapproves and she realizes he's too far gone, high on life. We jump to Black Noir fanboying out over Polarity in what looks like to be some version of The Woods. He's discussing some plot holes and lazy writing in his movies. This scene was hilarious and I could totally watch a Black Noir YouTube account.
You can talk now.
Noir.
Sage comes in and kicks out Black Noir and talks some BS, but when she leaves, she intentionally leaves the door unlocked for Polarity. Sage knows Polarity will probably try to stop Godolkin, and she must be okay with that because he's going so far off script, there's no helping that man. We jump back to class just in time for Marie to make her grand entrance. She takes on the whole class, and the rest of the gang shows up in the most unexpected way, LOL. They manage to hold down Godolkin long enough to let the trapped students escape. Marie stands over Godolkin and gets a little cocky. She makes the classic mistake of doing too much yapping and not enough slapping. Godolkin is finally strong enough to control Marie and he starts bloodbending the squad. But look how gross he's getting. Yeesh. All hope seems lost. Marie's raising everyone's blood pressure, but then we get the entrance of the unsung hero of the season, Polarity. He comes in doing no talking, straight business. The form on this kick would have made the Spartans proud. Polarity's hesitating on the fatality, but Marie has had enough and ends the madness once and for all in classic Victoria Newman fashion.
That was for Andre.
Everyone makes it out in one piece and Polarity tells them they can't stay at school, with another dean dead and Vought viewing them as starlighters so school isn't safe for them anymore. Polarity decides to stay behind though. Hopefully we see him in season 5 of The Boys. His character was great all season long. The episode ends with the gang joining the resistance. We get another Starlight cameo and my boy A-Train shows up at the end. So we were right about Godolkin and Dean Cypher being one and the same, so pat yourselves on the back for that one, you guys. We were right about that. I'm not gonna lie, he almost had me in the scene where he was about to off himself, but we were right, so congratulations you guys. But if I'm being honest with you guys, I was kind of done with Godolkin after about 10 minutes of him being on screen. I really missed Dean Cypher. Although they were the same person, they did not feel like the same person at all. Totally different mannerisms and vibe. And I think that's a flaw. Just listen to this clip.
You're adorbs. You think you're gonna save everybody?
Or are you just angry about what I did to your baby sister?
You sliced open her throat.
Yeah, and then you fixed it.
Like I knew you would.
You would never have achieved that level of power without that seminal moment. So you're welcome, Boo.
Yeah, they do not feel like the same character at all, and Godolkin is just not given that same energy as Dean Cypher was. Also, I was hoping for a clear explanation on how Marie's powers differ from Victoria Newman's powers. Why would you give them such similar powers and not explain exactly how they're different? Especially when you have Marie finish Godolkin in classic Newman fashion. You had Stan Edgar in only one episode because I guess that's all you could afford to pay Giancarlo, but you don't use his character to explain the difference between Newman and Marie, and he's perfect to do that. I was expecting him to explain like, I adopted Victoria Newman from Red River because I knew she had these blood powers and I was hoping she could do X, Y, and Z, but growing up she can only ever do X. But Marie, you are so special because you got compound V as a fetus, you can do X, Y, and Z, and that's why you were so powerful. I was waiting for a scene like that, but we didn't get anything like that. I think that's just a missed opportunity. She feels like Victoria Newman who can heal when I wanted her to feel much bigger than Victoria Newman. I mean, does anyone actually believe that Marie is going to be the one to take down Homelander at the end of this? If so, that would completely invalidate everything that we're doing in The Boys. It will completely invalidate like the last 7 years of The Boys. No one really believes Marie is going to be the one to end Homelander, right? Like, all we have to do is just get Marie close enough to Homelander and then she pops him, then everyone can go off for tea. That would be so whack. I don't think that's what they're going to do with the show. So why are you showing us like her only offensive capabilities are like she's just like Victoria Newman, that she's just popping people? I theorized that maybe she could like make someone's blood reject the compound V, like depowering a soup that way, or maybe separating the compound V from someone's bloodstream or something like that. I thought that would be really cool, and you could see how that can make for a great Homelander scene in season 5 of The Boys. You can have a scene where Marie's like concentrating and she's turning off Homelander's V, and you have like, you know, Huey throwing a punch at Homelander and taking a punch from Homelander and being like, oh, you hit like a bitch, man, like you're not strong. Like, because we've seen Homelander shirtless, we've seen that he's not like a physical specimen, he just has compound V, he's just really strong. It would be so cathartic to see like MM give him like a gut punch that drops him to his knees or something like that, see MM like work his body like Captain America in Avengers. That is the moment we want. That is the moment everyone wants to see, those type of moments, like Billy Butcher fighting Homelander straight up. But if all she's gonna do is try to pop him, that's gonna be whack because we know that's not how it's gonna end. But if she could turn off his V, that would be really cool. That would make for a great scene, you guys. I also really don't care about this new introduction of this new compound V, like this V1. Why are they introducing us to a new V this late in the show? They really should have just saved that for the prequel show they plan on doing. The Vought Rising show is gonna star Soldier Boy and all that stuff. I think they should have just saved that for that, especially because Soldier Boy is the only sup alive who has the V1 in him because Stormfront's gone and Godolkin's gone at the end of this episode. So it doesn't make sense why they would just throw that in here. It's just a little confusing, and they probably should just save that for the prequel show. I just really wanted this season to end with me feeling like Marie is on Homelander's level, and I just didn't get that feeling at the end of this. I mean, because can Marie survive? Like, if she gets her neck snapped by Homelander, like, does she have like Kamiko level healing abilities? Like, we don't know. We haven't seen that. And they just haven't convinced me that she's on Homelander's level in terms of power. So I mean, I get that, you know, she's not going to match him in some of his offensive capabilities, but if she was able to like turn off his V or do something with his blood like that, I would, in my head, that would put her at like Homelander's level. And I get she's a great medic, but to me, that doesn't put her on Homelander's level because I don't know that she can come back if Homelander rips her in half or snaps her neck. And I think he has a brute force to do that. So it is a little confusing why they didn't like build her up more when this whole season you thought they were going to end with her really being that powerful. I think it would have been really cool if she finished Godolkin in like an interesting way, like if she like took her healing rejuvenative powers like away, like if she like stuck out her hand and then like made him go back into that like Anakin Skywalker state, and then maybe even go beyond that, then it's like something out of Indiana Jones when the guy drinks from the wrong holy grail. I think that would have been really cool, and that would have made her feel like she's on Homelander's level if she had the ability to take away health, just how she can give health. And lastly, I really thought they were teeing up this whole like birth crisis issue, because we know like soups cannot give birth naturally to other soups. Even though characters like Maverick and Andre have the same powers as their dad, they were still given V as babies. They were not born natural soup. Homelander is the only person we know who has sired a child, and I doubt that was his first time like having sex, right? So it's not even like he can just keep doing it. That was like a rare thing. He didn't know that he could have children. He was told he couldn't have children. He didn't think he could have children.
But I thought I couldn't.
So did I.
And I just think that they kind of tee that up when they mentioned how like her mom, Marie's mom, couldn't get pregnant before Vought got involved. But then after Marie was born, her sister was born naturally. Like they didn't have to go back to Vought for the sister to be born. And then they intentionally leave it open and vague of whether the sister was a naturally born Soup or if she got V injections as a baby. They don't tell us one way or the other.
When did you get V? No clue. My mom and dad were dead before I could ask.
And some of the rhetoric we got through Dean Cypher this whole show just made me believe that like he wanted to use Marie as something that was going to benefit all Soups, something that was going to like help the race out. I thought like she was going to be groomed to like help secure the master race, because if they can't procreate, how are they going to be the master race? They're just going to die off. Not everyone has that V1 that they just live forever. And we see Homelander, he's losing his hair. We had that whole scene of Cypher talking about like, you know, time with polarity, how time comes for us all. So I'm thinking like, you know, Cypher's thinking big picture, but soon as we find out that Cypher and Godolkin are one and the same, and soon as Godolkin's out, it's like all he really cares about is leveling up so he can control Marie. And if he can control one Odessa baby, he can control the other. That's his whole rationale. It just seems kind of whack. I really thought they were going more grandiose with this. I thought there were a lot of Easter eggs that were leading us down that path.
My what? My weapon? Marie, I don't want you to be a weapon.
You are salvation. My life, your life, all our lives will be better
Once you have ascended to your full potential. Can I get an amen?
And they didn't go down that route. And I think that's a little missed opportunity to make this show go from good to great, right? All in all, it was a good season. It's not like it was a bad season by any stretch of the imagination. I just do think this season could have been great, whereas the season was just good. And I don't think it was better than season 1, but let me know what you guys think. Was it better than season 1? I don't think it was better than season 1. But hey, if you made it this far in the video, smash that subscribe button. I gotta be better than the last bloke you just watched. Hey, this is the best account under 1,000 subs. Click here to spam more of my content. And as always, thank you for inviting me into your home, and thank you for joining me in mine. I will see you guys in the next video.